Digimon 2020 episode 58 is in the books. Let's talk about the story before I get into the meat of my thoughts regarding the episode. So we saw a Kari-centric episode where she was able to get the definition and the reason for her crest, and that is of course the crest of light. They stumble upon the forest that Petaldramon used to reside in, or that was Petaldramon. TK and Kari go, Tai appears, it wasn't that bad, don't worry, we'll talk about that in a bit. Tai appears and they have to protect the Digitama. Digitama are these eggs where all Digimon come from, and they're scattered all across the forest. So they're gathering it and protecting it, and they're protecting it because Soulmon, a ghost type Digimon, a Digimon that hates life, is around the forest, and they're trying to freeze or stop the Digitama from hatching because again they want to stop the cycle of life. And as they're protecting everyone, Kari splits, Tai and TK also split in their respective areas to protect and gather the Digitama. They encounter skullbaluchimon. Skullbaluchimon is a massive fossil mindless Digimon, very similar to skullbaluchimon, and he fights off against Kari and Anjawomon. And with the soulmon and skullbaluchimon overwhelming Anjawomon, we are seeing these two heroes right at the edge of death, to the point where Anjawomon is glitching like hell, about to be destroyed. And this one Digitama that was identified as being quite cold, with Kari's light, with her touch, it hatches into Nyokimon, and that gives them the impetus to allow the light to travel through. Kari gets powered up, Anjawomon gets powered up, and we see a silhouette of Ophanimon. And using that light, they extinguish, they vanquish the darkness around them, the deathly Digimon that is Soulmon and skullbaluchimon. And we end the episode there. Now you think, okay, that seems like a very simple episode. What are the positives? It has a lot of positives because it was quite a really well done episode, from its visuals and also the narrative. It made sense. Never before have they said this as clearly as they did. And I like this. This was the best crest explainer, crest exploring episode on the last couple of episodes. They say very simply, light protects life. And Kari seems to be either mesmerized, possessed, creepy Kari, and she's narrating it alongside Anjawomon, who's behind her, and they're giving a little monologue about, okay, this is what light is all about. It's all about it illuminates the present as well as the future. Light protects life. And it was a great explainer for the crest, and it made complete and utter sense. Another thing I do like, although it was only a couple of episodes before, they gained these Digimon which they've interacted with to play a vital part or an introductory part for the narrative. And this is of course occurring in Petaldramon. Petaldramon was that massive Digimon who's become a forest because of the battle that Petaldramon had a couple of episodes ago. And so it's all happening in this forest, and because the forest is all about nurturing life, then you got the Digitama. The Digitama is the representation of life, and then you got Soulmon and skullbaluchimon, which is a living fossil, well, a zombie skeleton, a zombie fossil. So you have the proper distinguishment of life and death and the start of a new life in a forest. So the narrative cues are all right there. They're doing quite well. They're doing really well. Hikari as well is an absolute badass. The way she's running around, the way she's protecting everyone, the way she's suddenly really quite tall and straw-boned in when she's running, I'm like, oh, she looks quite tall. And Gatomon is on top of her. It's also drawn really quite well. The color palette, the way they utilize the light, the shadow was done perfectly. What other positives are there? The positives are we saw Anjawomon. That's always a positive. But more importantly, we saw the silhouette of Ophanimon. And that's a nice little nod to tell us, okay, there's going to be another mega for Gatomon, another mega for Kari. It's not going to be Holy Dramon that we saw earlier. They're going to change it up a little, very similar to how they gave us Crest Garurumon after we've already been established Metal Garurumon. So this is just teeing up the future episodes. Now, Tai appearing in all of these episodes recently has become a meme, but this was quite fine. He literally done nothing, and also Gatomon says it clear as day. You are going to support you are going to ensure that Commandomon is able to gather all of the Digitama. And Ty's like, what, support? What's going on? And it just kind of, it's a little wink at the viewer. It's like breaking the 4-4 to tell us, okay, listen, Ty's going to be here, but don't worry, he's not going to be involved at all. My only reservation is actually, it's not that Ty wasn't as involved or that he appeared. TK. Whenever TK and Kari are next to each other, whenever Patamon and Gatomon are in good close vicinity or side by side, special things happen. And TK was relegated to doing nothing in this episode when quite a big threat was occurring. Now, obviously, he'll have his own episode and his own time to shine, but it's just something to kind of whet my thoughts. I was thinking, okay, where was he? He's a holy Digimon. What's going on here? So, skullbaluchimon and soulmon. Firstly, I never ever liked the design of soulmon. Soulmon is just a Bakuman with a witch's hat. Now, they explain the witch's hat increases the magical powers and therefore makes soulmon more powerful, more dangerous, more malicious, what have you. And you have a lot of them, and these are ultimate level Digimon. So having them in great number, overwhelming Anja Woman and also Gatomon before that makes sense. But Gatomon was able to kind of destroy a lot of them on her own. Now, mind you, she is a holy Digimon, and mind you, she has the holy ring. I liked it. I like the fact that Soulmon wasn't the main thing, but skullbaluchimon, it's a bit of a, I wasn't sure because I was like, oh, okay, these are the skull Digimon tend to be mindless Digimon. I'm giving the example of skullbaluchimon and also skullgreymon, of course, the mindless Digimon who only act on instinct. And what is skullbaluchimon? Skullbaluchimon is the evolved version of Balukimon, which was a holy beast. So maybe there is a little nod to say this is like a corrupted holy Digimon. Well, not holy Digimon, but holy beast. A Digimon that used to serve the holy Digimon, which kind of explains why when Soulmon said, oh, the holy Digimon, ugh, disgusting, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that was an offshoot of the thought or the instinct of skullbaluchimon, who may have a similar disdain to the holy Digimon because its prior form used to support the holy Digimon. And again, as I said earlier, this was a great little, the way they visualized the good, bad, life, death, holy, unholy, living and dead Digimon and aspects of this narrative was done really quite well, and I enjoyed it. And I really did enjoy Kari's action scenes. She was an absolute badass. She was a badass. Now, let me give you my questions which I had, and to be honest, things I wish they would have done better. I wished that we had a direct little nod, and this is, I'm telling you right now, this is my nostalgia directing my thoughts and impulses. I wish they had a little direct nod towards Wizardmon. When I saw the hats immediately, I was like, oh, could it be? But no, it wasn't. But I wish they had a bit of a nod towards Wizardmon. I love Wizardmon, and Wizardmon is so integral to the story, or the story that everyone knows about Kari and Gatomon. If only they had a bit of a nod towards that, but that's fine. This was purely my nostalgia, driving that for. Another thing which I wish they done was the Digitama that was kind of cold, the one that became Nyokimon, hatched into Nyokimon eventually. And by the way, Nyokimon becomes Biomon and Birdramon, etc. Why was that cold? Why was that one Digitama cold? Obviously, it was a means to make Kari put the bandana around, or handkerchief, whatever it is, around the Digitama to warm it up. But eventually, she used her light, her warmth within her light to allow that Digitama to hatch. But I wanted a little spin on things. When we saw skullbaluchimon and all the Soulmon coming towards Kari and Anja Woman as they're protecting the Digitama, I thought, okay, maybe that's their egg. Maybe it's cold because it's something related to them. Maybe they're not really bad. Maybe they're trying to recoup the Digitama, which still doesn't make sense. But I was hoping for some swerve in that regard. But we didn't get that. It's fine. Because what we did get was Kari showing off and telling us what it means to be light. What the light means from a Digimon point of view. Now, was Kari possessed? Was she possessed again? Or was she so in tune or in sync with Gatomon, with Anja Woman? Tell me down below, I'm quite interested. Was she possessed, or was she just really in tune with the crest? And Nyokimon is not really a special Digimon. Maybe that's the point. The point that Digimon really isn't too special, or holy class, or whatever you have, what have you, in terms of how you explain it. But that might just be the point of light protects all life. But if it was a special Digimon, if it was a Digimon that has the potential to become a holy Digimon, or let's say directly is involved in the latter episodes when we get to the final boss or the final villain, that would have been quite a nice nod. They could have set something up, but they did set a lot of things up in terms of the silhouette. The silhouette was quite interesting. It was a rainbow silhouette of Ophanimon. Ophanimon is the more humanoid mega Digimon that Anjawumon is able to digivolve to. We've already seen Holydramon, the beast-like Digimon, one of the holy beasts, and this is more of a humanoid one, which is going to be involved obviously in the latter episode. I wish we saw more of TK, or just some level of nod or acknowledgement from Patamon to see what's going on. It was okay. It was okay that the story played out, how skullbaluchimon was the representative of death and such. I wish it was a bit of a precursor to more things to come. I wish they were involved with the great catastrophe. I wondered why, throughout the episode, why were the soulmon and skullbaluchimon attracted to Petaldramons forest? Where did they come from? But then it was answered in that same episode where wherever there's life, this is going to attract or spawn the dawn of a new evil. But I wish there was a bit more explanation of what drew them there. We kind of assume, we connect the dots that it was the Digitama, but obviously that's us connecting the dots. A nice episode. Let's see what the next one brings. What did you lot think? Take care. Bye. I'm off.